What's up YouTube, my name's Mick Zachary. Today I am filming a movie review again. I know I've been uploading a lot of reviews recently, but I gotta review movies. This is why I made this channel to be. So yeah, today I am reviewing a movie that I'm filming my review for Man of Steel. And also, for your background, again, I live in a house. I love westerns. Like, there's a TV on in the background, and it's just the TV. So, okay, don't worry. But that's only if your background noises. But today will be. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this movie. First off, this movie I did not like. I got mad at this movie because here's the deal with the review. It's not... Actually, here's the deal with the movie. It's not accurate to Superman, in my opinion. I mean, like, the most controversial moment, one of the most big complaints with the movie is Superman killing someone. That didn't bother me. What more bothered me is Superman is supposed to be someone who makes the people help him. Like, he's supposed to encourage the people. He's the Captain America of DC. And that's what annoys me. They didn't represent him hopeful. They didn't make him an American hero person where he's like, oh, like he's not worrying about the people around him. And he's always doom, gloom, whining, everything. I'm like, stop whining and care about your city. And one of my big also complaints about this movie is the death of Pa Kent. I'm like, that's not an emotional death. And I know Pa Kent has died in comics, maybe. I don't know if that's actually for sure. I know there's been stories where he's died, but that could be alternate universes. But Smallville's version of Pa Kent dying. I didn't watch it, but from what I've heard of it, I heard it was more interesting. And something they represent in all the others, even the most recent on the CW's, Tyler Hoechlin's version of Superman, who's only in a few episodes of Supergirl. He's even a good, hopeful Superman. They give Superman a personality. People say they enjoy seeing Superman where he's a powerful threat. Something like that. And I'm like, alright, you can have that in a movie. But he still has to be the hopeful hero. Tyler Hoechlin's version, for one, is like that. You see that. And so is Tom Welling's. So is Inia. All of them are like that. And Tom Cavill? Whatever. Oh, Henry Cavill, I mean. I don't know why I thought Tom. Henry Cavill, he looks like Superman. But he didn't do Superman fully correct. Like, he did good at acting. He did a good job at what they gave him. But the writing was just bad. Like, all the characters were good, except for Lois Lane and Zod. And any of the other villains in this movie. I didn't like the villains in this movie. I haven't seen a big bad from DC that I've enjoyed. I've seen side villains from DC that I've enjoyed in the movies. But, also, for instance, people enjoy this movie because it's a different take, like it's a darker Superman. I'm like, you can do dark Superman, but well, honestly, you can't really do dark Superman. What they tried to do with Superman was they were like, we're going to treat Superman like the Dark Knight trilogy. That is not Superman. Superman is Superman. He's a hopeful hero from DC. And them being like, oh, let's treat him like Dark Knight, is a bad idea. Even Christopher Nolan, the guy who directed the Dark Knight trilogy, said don't do that. Look, Zack Snyder's a good director visually. He, like, all the action scenes looks great. Every visually it looks like a good movie. But that doesn't you can say that with the Transformers movies though. And people hate the Transformers movies. Michael Bay's a good director on visual wise, but he's not like a great director. And that's what's important here. You can't just have a good. Don't get me wrong, Zack Snyder is probably a good director. It's just he doesn't understand Superman. Like, they try to say, alright, we're going to treat Superman like Batman. And you can't do that. Superman is the opposite of Batman in the comics. That's why they are best friends. They are opposites. Opposites, so they understand, but they can still understand each other's view. Superman, they were like, oh, let's make him serious. Let's make him a dark superhero. I'm like, no, you can't make him. And because basically what they tried to do was make Superman into a robot. And you can't do that to Superman. He is a human. He grew up on Earth. He's from Kansas. You have to treat him like a normal guy. Like, treat him how you would treat other characters. So many people are like, oh, let's make Superman. Like, why can't Superman be dark? I'm like, no, Superman can't be dark. The villains, like I said, are bad. They don't get much development. Like, the actor who plays the villain, he does a good job at times. Like, sometimes he's putting all of his work in it. And then at times, he's just like, like, very obnoxious guy. Look, Superman's not like this movie. Good. Another bad is Lois Lane, like I said. I did not like Lois Lane. I thought she just was there for, like, she had a good beginning part, but outside of the beginning part, she was just like used for, oh, Superman needs to go off and save someone. No. Superman isn't like any of how they represent, like, I saw parts, actually. But I don't see a full, accurate version of Superman. Another bad is the villain's plan. It's actually another bad is like the beginning. Like, I don't understand all these movies, superhero movies, being like, I mean, I understand you have to give it a backstory, but then just start from the beginning of his story and then go to present day. Don't just be like, alright, we gotta do present, like, backstory, present day, backstory, present. No. No one, if you do flashbacks up and back, unless you're a TV series, then it's complicated. Like, for instance, Arrow's able to do it on the CW because they have the time to work through that. They aren't like, and they have good transitions, I believe is what you would call it. They have good parts where they are like, alright, let's switch to flashback thing. In Man of Steel, and also, this is another complaint I had with the Dark Knight trilogy. The first movie, Batman Begins, I believe, Batman Begins. That one, for instance, the one with Ra's al Ghul, it's hard to follow at the beginning because they're like, oh, flashback, staying in present day. I'm like, what's in present day and what's in flashback? I was able to follow this easier, but it's just hard. If you're going to do a flashback, do all the way in the back and in the beginning, or like spread your flashbacks out where it's prepared, ready, and you're doing good setup. Simple as that. Good though, I do have to say, it looks good. Like, the special effects here is good. And another good is the acting. It's all good acting. Perry White is a great character in this movie. That's Perry White. I picture Perry White. But Kurt Russell as Superman's dad is good as well. I believe that was Kurt Russell. The guy who plays Superman's dad, he's good at acting. He's good at playing Superman's dad. All of the actors were good at playing the dad, except for Pa Kent. I didn't really get why Pa Kent was like, oh no, you can't be Superman. Like, he basically told little Clark, like 10-year-old Clark, like, oh, yeah, you should have just let those kids die. Why? Why would you tell a kid that? You shouldn't let Pa Kent wouldn't say that to Superman. He would, I understand where he's going at. He's worried. He doesn't want to lose Clark. But also, like, he's like, no, like where he goes into the tornado scene. I'm like, why would you go into a tornado? This is such an annoying movie. But you heard my review on it. I didn't like it. If I had to rate this movie, I would probably rate it, I'm gonna say 2%. Because it was good, but most of the good is not major details. And it just annoys me. I think this movie had the potential to be good. And hopefully the sequel will be good. I know people are saying like, oh, Batman vs. Superman is the sequel. No, that's not a sequel. That's a spin-off. I don't know. I don't recommend this movie. I know I'm a bit late on reviewing the movie, but if I had to I would still say don't see it, because they don't represent Superman accurately. And that's the big deal with me. If you're going to do a Superman movie, you don't need to be too different from you gotta be different from the originals, from the past Superman, all the others, but you don't have to. Like, for me, I don't compare Superman like all the Superman characters. I'm never like that, because I'm like, why would you compare them? They've came out in different time periods. And TV as well. Like, why would you compare TV to movies? They have two different budgets. Like, unless a movie, like, for instance, people will say Christopher Reeve Superman versus Henry Cavill Superman. You can't compare TV or movies and past movies, because you can't compare those, because people are like, you can't compare them because it's not fully accurate. But my big problem was they tried to treat Superman they tried to make him humanized character, basically, is what I would say is the word I'm looking for, which is like, made him more human than he is. That's not Superman. But catch on the flip side, YouTube.